Hi YouTube, it's Saturday and I'm Amber, and our topic this week is family and about coming out to our families and how that went, and thoughts or advice about coming out to family if you have not done that yet. She has been out to family and friends completely for a little over a year, but it'll be about 2 years since the first kind of coming out to folks in July or August. So for us, the coming out process was pretty easy and pretty simple. He kind of came out to a few close friends first, and then close family, and then we were coming back from visiting with his mom and basically created a list of who needed to get an email, who needed to get a phone call, who could just find out on Facebook or get a Facebook message, and if there was anyone who needed an actual physical letter mailed to them. So we kind of created categories or put folks into categories to help make that process a little bit easier. And then he really went from the people who knew the best to the people he knew the least, but he felt like he still needed to have an actual conversation with. He came out at work when he started his job at Cornerstone, where he's at now. When he started last April, he told them in the interview. And they've been great, have not had any issues. They asked at the beginning, like, what pronouns are you using? And he said male pronouns, and they were great and have been great since then. And then he came out to my family a little over a year ago. So he had been on T for maybe about a month or so when he came out to my family. And I think we were both nervous about it because we weren't sure how they were going to react. And it went really well. They've been really great, and I think for them, in a lot of ways, it's been easier for them to make the pronoun and name transition than it has been for some of his family and friends because they haven't known him as long. So for my family, they had only known him for 3 years at that point, so making the name change was pretty easy for them. The only person that he really experienced a negative reaction from was one of his aunts, and we kind of anticipated that going into it because that's how she's been about a lot of different things with a lot of different family members. So we kind of anticipated that she might be a little bit ridiculous, and she was. So it wasn't really a surprise. I think advice that I would have for people who are kind of early in that process and are thinking about how they're going to come out is to really spend some time making a list of who all needs to know, because it was really important for both of us to make sure that we didn't leave anybody out, because we didn't want folks to find out from somebody else before they found out from one of us. So I would definitely recommend that, to actually sit down and write a list out of people, and then to think about how you want to write the letter, and if you're going to write a letter to people, or what the conversation is going to look like, and practice the conversation. So if you want a copy of the letter that he sent, I'm sure that I can get that from him. And I sent a fairly similar one to some of my friends as well. So we're happy to share that. And I think what's also important is, especially with people who have known your trans partner for a long time, is to remind them that he's still the same person. It's not like this decision to transition is going to drastically change who he is. It's going to change the way that he looks. It's going to change the way that he sounds when he calls or when he visits. It may change what his priorities are in life a little bit, because it may make him feel like, and I think I've seen this with Stefan, that he feels like now he can pursue things that he's wanted to pursue, but wasn't sure how it would work out with his former gender expression as a very masculine lesbian. So even though he hates the word lesbian, but so I think encouraging your partner to remind family and old friends that he's the same person. He's not gonna, it's not like he's gonna forget all the things that those family members taught him. He's not going to forget all the stories and crazy things that happened with his friends. He's still the same person. So that helped us. And then also encouraging your guy to those family members who are a little concerned or are a little skeptical, to offer up resources, to offer up answering questions. He's got a couple, he's got a niece who is 13 and a couple cousins who are around that same age. And he said to both his brother and sister-in-law and to his aunt and uncle that if the kids had questions, that he was happy to answer questions. So that has helped as well. And then also offering out resources, and if there are books that you can recommend or a movie you can recommend, or anything like that, that can be helpful for people too. So I hope everybody has a great week. I'm not sure what we're talking about. I think we're talking about sex, but we're still in discussion. So I'll see everybody next week.